top stories tonight in Y News. The United States companies and Mexico expressed their commitment to further deepen their cooperations to the Philippines.
The Department of Justice ordered a certain National Bureau of Investigation official to explain over the viral sexy dance during their recent formal event.
Maynilad plans to implement water service interruptions in 6 cities in Metro Manila in the coming days.
And U.S. President Joe Biden arrives in the United Kingdom before the NATO summit despite gaining criticism from other allies about his decision to provide bombs to Ukraine.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Monday, the 10th of July, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harleen Delgado.
First in the news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met with some ambassadors and business leaders in Malacañang Palace today. The United States companies and Mexico have expressed their commitment to further deepen their cooperation to the Philippines. Nel Maribojoc reports.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. met the Business Executives for National Security or BENS in Malacañang Palace. The BENS reaffirmed its commitment to boost the cooperation and investment of the United States in terms of health, digital infrastructure, and energy programs in the Philippines. During the meeting, the members of the BENS asked President Marcos about his thoughts on business opportunities in the healthcare system in the Philippines, especially on the nursing industry and on the digital infrastructure and energy. According to the President, healthcare has become an important part of this administration efforts. He said the government will soon begin the construction of big multi-specialty hospital outside Metro Manila. PBBM also told the BENS that the price, reliability, and supply of energy is one of the problems being brought up by some of the foreign investors in the Philippines, including the problems on the ease of doing business. The President, however, emphasized that it is something that the government is working on. BENS is a non-partisan and non-profit organization and a network of business leaders in the U.S. Meanwhile, the Philippines and Mexico have agreed to increase cooperation on trade and culture. Presenting his credentials to President Marcos in Malacañang, Mexico's ambassador-designate Daniel Hernandez Joseph said that because of the two countries' history together, there is cultural closeness to share. The President agreed, stressing that the new economy calls for a new workforce with different skills than what countries traditionally depended upon before. The chief executive also expressed gratitude to Mexico for taking care of Filipinos there, stressing there is a strong Filipino community in that country which is now very much part of Mexican society. Nel Maribojoc, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
It is time for the Philippines and China to sit down again and discuss the issue in the West Philippine Sea, a security expert says. According to Professor Romel Banlawi, China won't stop its activities in the West Philippine Sea or WPS, especially in the parts of the ocean that it claims. For Banlawi, one possible discussion is the establishment of joint fisheries management to avoid illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing activities in the WPS. Having a coordinated patrol is also necessary to prevent unilateral patrols that may result in unintended violations in the sea. In 2019, there was an initial conversation where the two countries had a working group for political security cooperation, but it was stopped during the pandemic.
May pursue yung cooperative undertakings na siya namang hinihingi ng United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea, siya rin hinihingi ng Declaration of the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea na sign ng 2002, at siya na rin dinidiscuss the ongoing negotiation sa Code of Conduct in the South China Sea.
Meanwhile, despite his willingness to join the second State of the Nation address of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on July 24, Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. is not allowed to join the SONA, according to the House of Representatives Secretary General Reginald Velasco. Velasco stated that Teves is still suspended until July 30 and does not have any entitlement or access to attend plenary committee meetings.
Wala pa siyang entitlement as a regular member. So, unfortunately, we will not be able to send him an invitation because he is still suspended. Kasi pag suspended ka, you have no access to the plenary as well as committee meetings. No?
The Department of Justice ordered a certain National Bureau of Investigation official to explain over the viral sexy dance during a command conference last month. Dante Amento tells us why.
Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Boying Rimulya revealed an official of the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI is involved in the performance of some female dancers during a command conference last June 30. Rimulya added they have also identified the NBI personnel who hired the dancers.
I would have the identity of the person already. The one who was spoken to offer the entertainment services, because there were other services given besides the dancing. I think there was some singing also.
The DOJ chief ordered the NBI official to explain, although he refused to disclose the name.
There's an attempt, but I want it in writing. I want the explanation to be in writing.
There's also an ongoing internal investigation by the NBI over the issue.
We will look at the NBI's disciplinary procedure first, because the investigation is ongoing, and we will not preempt them from coming up with their own findings.
Meanwhile, the Civil Service Commission or CSC reminds those working in government, especially officials, to be careful in their actions. It would affect the image of the agency they are working with.
But moving forward, maganda rin tingnan din nila how para hindi maulit dito na rin ang klase nangyari na activity. And kasi taong bayan po nagpapasweldo sa amin, and we are accountable officials.
Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Department of Justice or DOJ Secretary Crispin Boying Rimulya said among the things they are considering as part of the investigation is the possible influence of the high-profile inmate Jad Dera to the other inmates inside the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI Detention Center. This includes the suspects in the killing of Negros Oriental Governor Roel de Gamo, who recanted statements over there in the crime. Authorities recently discovered that Dera was able to go in and out of the NBI detention facility before he was transferred to Muntinlupa.
Mayor pag mayor ka dyan, ikaw ang hari dyan ayun ang natural na takbo ng pamumuhay sa loob ng mga piitan sa ating republika. Wala ho tayong inaatrasan na posibilidad. Lahat ng posibilidad tinitingnan natin.
And for the news abroad, United States President Joe Biden has arrived in the United Kingdom before the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Summit in Lithuania, despite gaining criticism from other allies about this decision to provide bombs to Ukraine. Ia De Vera will give us the details live. Yes, Ia, good evening.
Good evening, Harleen. Countries such as the United Kingdom and Canada expressed their concern regarding the supply of bombs in Ukraine that are widely banned due to the risks they pose to civilians. The decision to provide cluster bombs to Ukraine has faced opposition from the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO allies, including New Zealand, Canada, and Spain. However, the United States is firm that the bombs are necessary because Ukraine's weapon stocks are depleting. Also, they got a written assurance from Kyiv that Ukraine will not use the weapons in Russia or civilian areas. Moreover, U.S. officials said that providing cluster bombs to Ukraine was part of the military aid package worth $800 million. During President Biden's visit, he is scheduled to meet UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to talk about various topics, including the war in Ukraine. President Biden will also visit King Charles while in the UK for the first time since the king was crowned. The NATO summit in Vilnius, consisting of a military alliance of 31 Western nations, will focus on discussions such as boosting ammunition stockpiles and reviewing defense plans, and President Biden is expected to seek support from Prime Minister Sunak to help negotiate a deal with Turkey. Back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Iya De Vera, reporting live from New Zealand. We'll share more global stories with you later. For those who are watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. A lawmaker wants the Senate to look into the alleged irregularities in a raid conducted by the Philippine National Police Anti-Cybercrime Group, or PNP-ACG, in a POGO hub in Las Piñas City, where over 2,000 workers were rescued. Senator Rafi Tulfo says he intends to file a resolution seeking to probe the alleged lack of coordination of the police with other concerned agencies and the alleged extortion from rescued foreign nationals and embassies.
And I have proof that right now, hindi ko po pwede i-divulge siya, na yung mga foreigners na nandoon, hinihingihan ng pera bago sila pakawalan at i-repatriate. Ginagawa lang gatasan, ginagawa lang moro-moro at lukuhan itong ginagawang raid.
Meanwhile, Justice Secretary Crispin Boying Remulla says the PNP-ACG did not observe a case buildup before conducting the raid.
Hindi siya pinpointed, hindi siya specific, walang specific acts para hulihin ng tao. Basta raid lang, raid, ganoon. Pumasok na sila para nangingisda. Kasi, ang dati kasi naging ugali ng kapulisan natin, huli ng huli kahit walang kaso. Pagka wala na mailagay na kaso, naglalagay ng ebidensya. Ngayon, hindi nila magawa ngayon yun eh. Hindi kami papayag dito eh. Diba? Kaya nagkakaroon ng problema sila.
Remulla says he will talk with the PNP-ACG and PNP Chief Benjamin Acorda Jr. regarding the matter. The PNP-ACG has yet to comment on the issue.
The Department of Transportation announced today that the full operation of the Metro Manila subway project has been rescheduled once again. The previously considered option of partial operation by 2027 is no longer being taken into consideration. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Even the Department of Transportation has previously announced that the Metro Manila subway project could have partial operation by 2027. According to Assistant Secretary for Railways Georgette Aquino, the department now aims for its full operation by the end of 2029. Since the subway will have interconnectivity with other railway systems such as LRT1, LRT2, MRT3, MRT7, and the North-South Commuter Railway Project, the official emphasized that it would be best for commuters to experience its full operation.
Kasi kung magpa-partial operability tayo hanggang a certain station, hindi naman natin siya, parang hindi siya optimized, no, for our passengers, di ba? So, it would be best na we just operate it pagka buo na.
Earlier today, the DOTR allowed the media to see the progress of the Metro Manila subway depot in Valenzuela City. Since the groundbreaking ceremony led by PBBM last January, 190 meters have already been bored using the tunnel boring machine. The said project of the century will have 17 stations from Valenzuela City up to Ninoy Aquino International Airport. It is expected to carry 519,000 passengers on a daily basis and can help decongest major thoroughfares in Metro Manila. Based on the 2017 feasibility study, the fare from end-to-end of its stations would be up to 88 pesos, which translates to a 22 peso boarding fare and an additional 2 pesos per kilometer. However, the DOTR stated that this calculation would be revised in the coming years due to the effect of the inflation rate in order to come up with a more reasonable fare matrix.
We're expecting to have another study for the fare. So sa ngayon, hindi pa namin masabi kung ano talaga yung magiging fare structure niya.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Millions of residents in 6 cities in Metro Manila will experience water service interruptions in the coming days. Maynilad reminds the affected areas to store sufficient water only for the duration of the water supply interruption. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
Water allocation for Metro Manila has been reduced to 48 cubic meters per second from 50 cms since Saturday. This reduction comes after the water level at the Angat Dam dropped below the minimum operating level of 180 meters. For over 500,000 connections covered by Maynilad, which serves approximately 3.5 million individuals, this reduction will result in water service interruptions.
Sa aming po pagtataya ay magiging kapos po yung aming required volume dito sa Lamesa Portal. Therefore, para po maibsan po itong pagkakulangan na ito, kailangan po namin magbawas ng tubig na dinidistribute sa aming mga customers at a certain time of the day.
Maynilad has announced that starting Wednesday, July 12, they will implement water service interruptions from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. The affected areas are in the elevated regions of Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, Valenzuela, Quezon City, and Manila. Maynilad advises the public to avoid excessive water storage.
Ina-assure po namin na yung interruption schedule na pinost po namin ay yun po yung oras talaga na mawawalan lang sila ng tubig, at the following morning naman po, babalik uli yung serbisyo sa kanilang mga gripo para po hindi naman po kailangan nating mag too much effort sa pag-iipon. Kasi minsan yung excessive po na pag-iipon ay nagko-cost din po ng pagtaas ng water bill ng ating mga customers.
Maynilad is hopeful that the watershed of Angat and Ipo dams will receive sufficient rainfall during this rainy season.
So hopefully, itong pag-ulan na ito is mangyari naman, lalo-lalo na doon sa Angat Ipo watersheds natin, para po ma-ensure din po natin na potentially may mga araw na hindi po namin na-execute itong interruption na ito na in-announce namin.
As of 6 a.m. today, the water level is at 179.23 meters. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Health, or DOH, has alerted hospitals and health facilities in the country to prepare for the impact of El Niño, ensuring that their operations will not be compromised considering the potential water supply crisis that may be experienced. Gladys Tuabi will tell us why.
Water supply is vital in hospitals and health facilities, as it is used for the hygiene and sanitation of patients, among other purposes. With El Niño officially declared, a water crisis is one of its possible effects.
Hindi to kagaya ng bagyo, it's insidious, mas mabagal, so the effects are kind of huli na pag nalaman mo. So it's better to be prepared against this hazard of the El Niño.
The Department of Health has alerted hospitals and health facilities in the country that their operations must not be compromised, especially when it comes to the safety of the patients due to the lack of water supply. The agency emphasized that contingency plans for health facilities should already be in place. Faucets and water tanks must be checked and replaced if necessary to prevent leakages.
Ongoing na po yung assessment at tinatanggap na namin yung mga report nila sapagkat i-consolidate namin yung mga pangangailangan nila. Ito ay importante sa kagawaran ng kalusugan sapagkat maaaring kulang ang resources ng ilang ospital para matugunan ang maaaring panganib na ibigay ng El Niño sa mga darating na buwan.
Meanwhile, hospitals are also advised to prepare for the health impacts of El Niño. Health problems such as diarrhea, cholera, and dengue may worsen during this phenomenon. It is anticipated that this phenomenon might also exacerbate the issue of malnutrition in the country, as prices are expected to increase.
Weather affects health. Pag may drought, mahina ang food production. So ang problema natin yung aming mga malnourished or nutrition areas sa nutrition sensitive population. If there's drought, mamahal ang food. Pag nagmahal ang food, mawawalan ng pagkain ng mahihirap. And this can probably aggravate that.
The DOH emphasizes that weather affects health, which is why everyone is encouraged to prepare and take action now while we are still experiencing the mild El Niño. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other global news, 6 people under 18 presented to hospitals due to seizure, loss of consciousness, and vomiting in New South Wales. All symptoms linked to e-cigarettes or vaping. Maven Carizo tells us why.
6 young people, majority from Southwest Sydney Local Health District, were sent to hospitals, all reported with symptoms linked to vaping, including seizures, loss of consciousness, and vomiting. Nicotine vapes can be sold to adults if with prescription, and is considered illegal if sold to young people below 18. However, these days, young people can easily have access to products containing nicotine, including e-cigarettes, from social media app Snapchat. According to the Director of Drugs and Alcohol Research Training Australia, Paul Dillon, Snapchat has become the preferred option for young people to purchase vapes, as it could be only minutes to pay someone through the app and get products delivered to your doors. He also added Snapchat is seen being a difficult platform for the police to track. New South Wales health data warns public that many vapes has been found to contain high levels of nicotine, even when they are not labeled as such. Authorities are urging parents to be extra vigilant. Also, if parents are concerned if someone has been poisoned by liquid nicotine, you may contact the Poisons Information Center. Maven Carizo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Legal experts note that while numerous companies have accused rivals of hiring former employees and developing similar products, such as cases have been challenging to substantiate in court. Polk Wagner, a law professor at the University of Pennsylvania, says Twitter must be able to demonstrate that Meta acquired economically valuable information that Twitter had taken reasonable efforts to safeguard as a secret. However, working out what counts as reasonable effort can be a complex matter, Wagner highlighted. Additionally, some legal experts suggest that many of the employees referred to in the dispute were likely part of the mass layoffs conducted by Twitter at the end of last year. Meanwhile, Meta's chief executive officer Mark Zuckerberg has not directly addressed the legal feud, but has emphasized the importance of healthy competition in the industry, which Elon Musk called as cheating instead. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe.
Bacolod 18 flocked to the last leg of SB19's Pagtatag World Tour in the Philippines, held in the City of Smiles last night. Meanwhile, the P-pop group served and satisfied the fans with their world-class performances. Lalaine Moreno has the report.
showed their full support at the last leg of SB19's Pagtatag concert in the Philippines, held in Bacolod City last night. Excited fans flocked to the SMX Convention Center, eagerly waiting for the SB19 group to perform live. Marla Marquez and Jet Arimas, both residents of Bacolod City, made sure they could attend the concert in the city. Marla wore a chic outfit inspired by her bias member Ken.
Excited kami kay super ginulap ginamon.
Yes.
Actually, wala kami plano. Hamon na lang taning every is to go to the hometown. But unexpectedly,
hindi nakagwanta.
Other fans were also seen bringing flowers for their biases. Meanwhile, Jerlyn Velete, a 59-year-old fan from Iloilo City, managed to keep up with the teenage fans. According to Jerlyn, people of her age also love the music of SB19.
Because they will love it, as I love them. Why man hindi man nasa age mo, kung itry nila pamati sa music sa SB19, ma-encourage ko nga masili ko nga they will love it.
The author and the writer of well-known books consider the concert of the Pinoy Pop Kings as healing.
Nakaka-addict siya. Like, if pwede lang mag-concert sila everyday, I would go. Pero yung music talaga nila, it heals. It inspires. Dahil for someone like me na dumating sa point na I was lost and it was their music that brought me back na like at this age, I can still dream. Pwede pa ulit akong mangarap.
Fans were hyped for SB19's first appearance on stage. The group performed their latest hits, Gento, Liham, and SLMT. They also had a chance to interact with their supporters. After the upbeat songs, SB19 touched the audience with their heartfelt songs such as Tila Luha, Hanggang sa Huli, Ilaw, Liham, Mapa, and Nieve. They also had individual performances. After Bacolod City, the next stop of the Pagtatag World Tour concert will be in Chicago, Illinois on July 21. Lillian Moreno, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The PNP responders have advanced to the finals of the UNTV Cup Executive Face-Off after defeating the AFP Cavaliers in a do-or-die match. The PNP will face the Senate Sentinels in the finals. Rina Villamor Camara reports.
Before the finals round on July 23, the PNP responders and AFP Cavaliers faces a do-or-die game at the Paco Arena. It is recalled that the Cavaliers were able to extend to another game in the playoffs to prove themselves worthy in the finals round. Before the game, Coach Bayabao expressed that his job is a challenging role.
Isa to sa mga mahirap na tasking na ginagampanan ko ngayon.
Meanwhile, Yamamoto seemed confident about the game.
Wala naman talaga kami nararamdaman na pressure, pero siguro mas inspired kaming manalo dahil nga syempre doon sa chosen beneficiary namin. And then nakita naman namin yung resulta ng first semifinal game.
The responders did not waste time as they got the AFP Cavaliers immediately in the first 6 minutes of the game to get the lead up to 17-10. Andal was instrumental in making 5 points for AFP and De Mesa with 8 points for PNP to raise the game of both sides. 21-15 in favor of the PNP at the end of the first quarter. Loose ball errors dominated on the side of the Soldiers that kept them away from the scoreboard at the beginning of the second quarter. In the timeout, the Cavaliers adjusted their defense while the PNP team faced an early penalty. Rebounds and second ball chances by the police gave them the points, and the soldiers persisted again by being patient on those 2-point basket to reduce the lead to only 1 point in the first half, 39-38. Andal fired up with his layup, meanwhile a 2- and 3-point basket from Padua in the third quarter. First tie in the scores was achieved in the last 5 minutes of the third quarter, 49-all before AFP got their first lead of the game, which Martires immediately took back with his 2-point basket. Many fouls were also called on both teams, but the police team still controlled the boards 64-58. In the last 10 minutes, PNP applied pressure in the game to take another big advantage, 73-59. Homa Lessa graduated early with his 5 fouls in the last 5 minutes of the game, which was a huge loss for the AFP Cavaliers. AFP tried their best to get the win, but they still finished behind the police for 79-74 at the end of the playoffs. Anthony Padua was awarded Best Player of the Game, who provided 26 points for the responders.
Kung ang AFP mayroong Big 2, ang Senate may Big 3, may +1 pa sila na talagang dumi-dumi na din sa laro. So yun siguro ang pag-aaralin namin yung strategy namin na paano namin sila i-stop, lalo na yung mga tira nila sa labas.
Watch for the Senate Sentinels and the PNP responders in the finals of the Executives Face-Off on July 23 at the PhilSports Arena. The two teams first met last June 14, where the PNP won by a point against the Sentinels, 73-72. Rina Villamor Camara, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Our Kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God, from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38. It says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down and shaken together, and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again." And those are the reasons behind the news, July 10, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Harleen Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.